Well, good morning. It's a football day. Guess I'm going to be watching LA's, and the Patriots, and a couple others. I don't think LA doesn't play they play the Bears, and somebody's playing the Patriots today. So that ought to be fun to watch. Those two games. Seattle drubbed San Francisco. Anyway, we'll take the brakes off, and what we're doing here is we're going from Bridgeport to LaGuardia, and what we're retracing a flight which was the second flight I ever took in my life, which was in the Lockheed Loadstar. About a 200-mile-an-hour. It was used as an executive aircraft, and they manufactured those in the late 40s after World War II. It was a tail dragger, so tricycle landing gear aircraft were coming along, and that was more popular. The radial engines we were getting into jets. So radials were on the way out, and jets were on the way in. So it wasn't a real popular airplane. But that's what I got to fly on one night from Northampton, company airplane. Flew from Northampton to LaGuardia on a dark and stormy night. Well, it seemed like it was pretty level. So we're going to get the last part of this is going to be landing in LaGuardia. So we're shortening the trip. We're down here at Bridgeport, Igor Sikorsky Field. Igor Sikorsky invented the helicopter, in case you don't recall. Here we go. Get the wheels up early. It's fun to look at them getting up as you just take off. The flaps up and autopilot on, and we'll see what happens here. Bring the power back a little bit so we don't over torque. This should be showing the direction here. So I'm going to go with heading. We could have maybe gone with nav. Let's go with nav. Maybe that'll do it. So we're going to answer these guys and then not answer them after that. We'll just acknowledge handoff.
128.1 Bravo Charlie. Goodbye.
So should be navigating on that, and we're climbing to 3,000 feet. Should be on that. Let's see here. We got the autopilot on, and possibly this is what's going on right now. Maybe that's what's going on here. PDF setting. Didn't do it. Yeah. No, that didn't do it. Something is amiss. Something's amiss. I don't know what's going on here. Let's try this again. Heading, APR. We'll see. Let's see what it looks like out here. Now it's looks like it's tracking now. Oh my goodness. Okay, and I think this is Stamford down here. There's Westport right there. Let's see if we bring up the location here. I'll put this over a little bit. It's tracking it now. No, I don't quite get it. It's probably Stamford down here. Looks like we're doing okay at this point. 3,000. This used to be right on the money on that, but for some reason it's just off. It's 29.92. There it says Darien is right there, and then Stamford will be right next to it. My brother used to rent a place in Darien, and this would be Stamford right there. All is well. Let's see what it looks like in here. So we're halfway to, I think that's Yeoman intersection right there. Yeah, there's runway 2 at LaGuardia. Looking good. Let's look down at Stamford as we go by. Stamford. STAMFORD. Old Greenwich. Oh, I probably could punch on it. Bellhaven. There's Greenwich. Bellhaven. Byram, I don't know Byram. I think we go right over Pelham or New Rochelle. Yeah, we'll check how we're doing. We're coming up on Yeoman intersection right there. So we'll drop down to 2,000. Let's do that. 1969 is as close as I can get. Take it down to 1,000 feet a minute. Rye, I've heard of Rye, New York. And we'll be making a slight left turn. There's Manhattan down there. I don't know that Iron Neck, don't know what that is. Can't see LaGuardia yet, but I think it's right about in there. Larchmont, heard of that. And we'll just check here, see how it looks. So we're tracking okay. And then we'll turn on the approach. So it hooks onto our glide slope, and we can look over here and start seeing the glide slope coming in right at the top of this little bar right here. Once that comes down, the glide slope will turn green, and then we'll be on. So we can start slowing down. So we'll bring the power back to about a third. Yeah, now I can see LaGuardia up here just past Evers, right in there. We'll look over this way so we don't have to look. Pelham. My uncle used to live in Pelham. And New Rochelle should be along in here. Pelham Manor, that's where they live, Pelham Manor. Then this is the Bronx in here. And we'll start coming down on the glide slope. We'll see the glide slope is just coming, and we'll watch the green go. That glide slope goes green. GS is locked on, and now it's following the glide slope down to the runway. Regular airplane, you'd probably have the gear and the flaps down already. We'll get down, we'll put a notch of flap in, that'll help to slow us down. And we'll get under 150, we'll drop the gear. We'll go back outside. Here comes the gear. And the flaps full. Speed coming down, we want to get down to 85. There's the Bronx in the background. We can get this off. And we just look right out there. Get it down to 85, approach. We can look on a little angle over this way to look at New York in the background. Here's the runway right down there. 91. Get it down to about 85. Slowly working for 85. We would have had, on a regular flight, you'd nail the approach speed and then trim it up. But back when I flew, I didn't have couplers, didn't have an autopilot that would do all this for you. Had a co-pilot. The first 6 months I flew, I didn't have a co-pilot. They were having a few accidents, so they required having a co-pilot. That's when I got my friend Ken Dunlap. He'd actually been flying for an airliner. Hughes Air West he flew for. And then after he flew with me on the Dove, he went to Hawaiian Airlines. This is Flushing Bay. Would land at a little airport somewhere around in here.
500.
That's the Whitestone Bridge, so it's maybe right over in there was the Queens, Flushing Meadows Airport is right up over in there. Never saw it come up the East River and come around LaGuardia, but I never saw LaGuardia. Oh, maybe 3 times I came up the East River in the Piper Tri-Pacer. Yeah, we'll get it down to 85. A couple of aircraft waiting to take off. There's one on the runway.
Traffic, 12 o'clock. Same altitude, less than 1 mile.
So we could probably get a stop before we land. They'd make us go around.
Traffic, 12 o'clock. Same altitude, less than 1 mile.
He got out of the way. He got out of the way. Okay, here we go. Flaps up. And general aviation's off to the right here. Yeah, we'll just take a shot in there. Thanks for riding along. We will then take a flight from here over to Morristown. We'll try to do that on instruments. Well, it'll be VFR. We won't bring in the weather. We'll pretend we're going to. We'll see an aircraft taking off. Oh, he just landed. Yeah. Pretend we're going to general aviation right here. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, let's head for the Biltmore. I don't know whether it was the Biltmore or where it was. As we're inside the building there. We'll look over at the main terminal. This has all been redone recently. The last couple of years they redid all the buildings here at LaGuardia. Okay, thanks for riding along. That's supposedly an instrument flight from Northampton to LaGuardia when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, something like that, in the Lockheed Loadstar. There goes a flight. There goes a flight. That's a kind of a fun look right there. Okay, thanks for riding along. Bye-bye.